That's
Okay.
a really bad angle.
Do you reckon that? What should it be
There
like?
we go, there
That?
you go. That's it.
Wait, look at that. Look at that. Fucking hell.
What?
What's that?
Is this
How
actually,
far
is
back
this
is
going
that
to be on the
hairline?
review?
This is going to be on the review. Alright, me and Scott are at X-Men Apocalypse. We're about to go in and see it in 4D, 3D at the IMAX. Scott, are you excited?
I'm moderately excited.
Moderately excited.
I don't have high expectations, but I'm just going to go in and see what happens.
See what goes on. I predict this is going to be the worst Bryan Singer X-Men film.
I think you're probably right, but I don't think that's a bad. I don't think there are many bad
How
Bryan.
many has he done? 18 X-Men films or something?
No,
Is
he did X-Men 1,
Yeah.
X-Men 2.
Yeah,
Brett Ratner did X-Men 3.
yeah. He's doing well so far.
Forgotten who did X-Men First Class.
He did. Bryan Singer.
No,
did?
someone else did. Bryan Singer produced it.
Oh yeah, no. It was which one he did? Which one? No, it was. No, it was Bryan Singer did first.
Bryan
Class.
Singer came back for Days of Future Past.
Oh, that's right. What did you think of Days of Future Past? I didn't
I
like
thought
Days of Future
I
Past.
thought it was my favourite X-Men film so far.
First class. First class.
But
It was
like-
first class.
It
Come
was
on.
first class was like that was amazing, and
Yeah.
then this brought the amazing cast, and just to see them, and it had time travel, and it was like Terminator, and it was great.
I did see it on a computer screen, like about a 14-inch screen, where
Oh,
that may have like somehow. Hal Berry's on in it for like 5 minutes as well.
That's what's good about it.
Oh no! Come on, Catwoman. It's a brilliant film. Not really. Okay, so what else is happening in this film? So I think we're going to see a bald James McAvoy. I think I've
it's on the
seen that
poster.
clip. Oh, is it on the poster?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure I saw it in the trailer. Is Wolverine going to be in it?
Yeah.
Is he going to be in it? Right. Well, we'll wait and see.
I
Is
think,
he
he's,
gonna
I,
be
think
another
he's, I think he's
small
going to be in it like the same amount he was in First Class, well, a bit more.
cameo? I'm confused about the timeline. So, like,
It's
some of the
alternate-
characters are young, but then Wolverine's the same all the way through. Are they crowbars?
Yeah,
Hugh
no,
Jackman into
because
this.
Hugh Jackman doesn't age. Well, no, Hugh Jackman ages.
You heard it here
Wolverine
first.
doesn't age.
Right, okay, Wolverine doesn't age, so Wolverine might be in it, but not that much. Anything else going on that we're
So
looking forward to?
here's what I predict from the
Yeah.
film that I'm not, because I like the way the X-Men films like kind of merge with real life, and how
Okay.
the mutants hide the powers and all that, and how
Yeah.
they explore that, and I think
stuff.
that's all done really well. I'm worried for this film that it's just going to be loads of people with like abilities just battling, but like with no themes or anything like that. It's just going to be just who's got the biggest power, and I don't think.
Yeah.
I think for that is I'm not going to enjoy it. It's just going to be like a battle
Who has
royale
got the
where
biggest
no one
power?
can die.
Who has got the biggest power? Storm.
Apocalypse
Storm's good,
on
really.
Apocalypse on
Right.
because he's like the king of.
Do you think then, well, what they've got to do is, and they've got to balance it like Civil War, balance so well between lots of different characters. They got that right.
I don't know
thought.
how
That
they're
was
going to
like-
make this good in my eyes.
Yeah.
No, like in that
Yeah,
regard,
yeah.
I just can't. I don't think the premise of the film. If it wasn't X-Men, I wouldn't be that excited for it. But like, I'm excited. It's like got all the decent cast members in it.
Yeah. It's a comic book film, like.
And
like,
Magneto,
well excited for it.
like Fassbender, Magneto.
Yeah,
is
it
awesome.
is brilliant, isn't it? So, prediction score out of 10, I'm going to say it's going to be about 5.
I'm going to give it a 7.
7 out of
I think
10.
I'll enjoy it just because it's that universe that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
X-Men universe is my favourite.
The X-Men is your favourite one. Is it really controversial? Okay, right, let's... No. I think my favourite is Iron Man. I love Iron Man, so what can we do? Alright, should we get in there?
Yeah, should we do a
it
click?
watched?
So it's like you click and then.
Ready?
Whoa, there we go, look at
was
this.
quick.
That was quick, wasn't it? That was not
Editing.
long at all. Alright, so we've just been to watch X-Men Apocalypse. We've not told each other our
Not
review.
spoke about it.
And it's been, what, about 10 minutes since we got out.
I'm gonna think you enjoyed it because you were humming the theme tune.
That theme tune is a cracker, isn't it? It's right up there. I'll definitely be listening to that on Spotify at some point. So, I'll say that it definitely defied my expectations. I really, really enjoyed, especially the first 2/3 of it. I thought were really, really good. I don't know. I had a kind of feeling that it
Review
was
score
going to review score. So I said 5 out of 10, didn't I?
5 or 6. Yeah.
5 or 6. I think I said 5. I would go maybe even as high. At its best, I would say a 9.
Mm-hmm.
At its worst, probably drop down to a 6 or a 7, but still very good.
You're right. Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
It definitely wasn't perfect, consistently. Good.
No. Do you think they overdid the humour? I get the sense like there's this thing in superhero films now where it's like, this humour thing has worked really well in Marvel films.
Well-
Let's really do it. Sometimes they've got it spot on, like the scene where the quick guy,
It's
what's
all
his name?
Quick Guy.
What's
Quick
he called?
Guy.
Quick Guy, the Flash. I nearly called him. What's his name?
Yeah, the Flash.
Yeah, the Flash.
It's,
We've got the- no.
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, who goes in and rescues them all. That was a pretty inspired scene. I thought that was brilliant, and that kind of thing works really well. But there's
Again,
a few
Quicksilver's
bits-
got the best scene in the film.
Yeah, and he was really good in the last film,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
With
Yeah,
the, yeah.
he was a standout scene from that as well.
Got the what music was playing. That was awesome music.
Yeah, that was really good. Oh, that's what I want. Right, the 80s references I thought worked brilliantly.
Yeah.
That was really cool, seeing the X-Men, all these characters we know so well, mixing in with all these 80s references. I thought that worked really well. What did we think? Well, I have to say, first of all, Fassbender. What? I mean, the guy can just act.
Yeah.
He was just born to act, wasn't he? Him and McAvoy are brilliant actors, more than worthy successors to Stewart and
Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen. Can't remember names, for God's sake.
It is.
I can't remember names of actors.
It is quite late.
But don't you think they're
At
just
night.
absolutely superb, and they're the ones that really, for me, especially Fassbender.
I don't think there
Carries
was
the
a
film.
false note in
No.
all of the cast.
No, definitely not, because I don't think Fassbender had that much to do in the last film previous compared to this one. I thought this
No.
one they gave him real stuff to do, and I thought he can just act the hell out of anything.
They gave him some real scenes to get into, didn't they?
What do you give it out of 10 then?
I gave it an 8.5 to 9.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'd say about 8.5 was fine.
Compared to Civil War, which way would you go? Which do you think worked better? Because I suppose you're fitting in a lot of characters, but they really went for it, didn't they?
I thought
this
Civil
time?
War was a better film overall, and it had some.
Agreed.
But I thought this one had some moments that I really like. Just go to the cinema
Yeah.
for. Like it was a lot more epic.
Yeah, it's
It was
X-Men.
called Apocalypse.
Well, it's
You
X-Men
can't-
versus God,
Yeah.
essentially, isn't it? So, how do you think the villain worked? For me, he worked better in the first 2/3 of the film, and it got a little bit, I don't know, a little bit muddled for me what it was all about at the end. And I thought, because I was a bit worried. I thought, oh, they're just giving like a guy who has all the powers, crash bang wallop. But then these interesting themes came up about false gods, and you know, it was set in the 80s when you had the Cold War and everything. There was some interesting stuff there that I thought was going to a higher level than normal, but then it kind of got reduced a bit at the end for me, a little bit.
I thought he had a bit of a. It took my brain a while to adjust to him when he was first coming on. I mean,
Yeah,
remember,
that's
like
true, yeah,
he
that's-
looks so ridiculous, doesn't he? Like,
He does.
and it's like,
Yeah, 'cause I thought this was going to be lame when I
Yeah.
saw him at first.
like the makeup looks bad compared to the rest of the film.
He
Like,
does,
I mean,
yeah.
you kind of you suspend disbelief and go with it, but
Yeah.
he looks like he should be at a kid's party, doesn't he? Like,
Who's the actor? Do we know who's that?
yeah, it's
Who is that?
the guy who played Poe Dameron in Star Wars. I've
Which
forgotten his
one was
name now.
Poe
I've forgotten his
Dameron?
name. Poe Dameron, the X-wing fighter.
Was it him?
Yeah.
Ah,
And what else was he in recently? He's been in everything.
I thought it was. I thought the villain kind of built up. It was ridiculous at first, but I actually started to kind of get into it. One thing though, they're kind of doing the four men of the horsemen of the apocalypse. Like, what are the other ones even doing? Like Storm and the other girl didn't really have much to do, did they? Like later on, they just kind of have them
No.
a bit of like standard fights with the X-Men, but generally there's a bit where they just like stood on a mountain. They just stood on a mountain, just looking like, and you're just going, what? They just look good, and that's about it. Really.
Yeah. It didn't really show their motivation for joining him that much,
No,
did it? Especially that Psylocke character.
Yeah. It was just, all right. Why not? You know, might as well. You know, Magneto as well. Magneto does the Magneto thing we were just talking about before. He flips from he's good and he's bad and he's good again. Kind of a little bit overdone by now. You think just a little bit?
His introduction, like when he became Magneto again
Yeah.
and killed all those police officers in the forest. I was like, this is awesome. You know, I was actually sitting there with my hand over my mouth, and he was just goes straight through the neck, that little piece of metal.
And he does it with the picture of his mum and dad little bracelet thing, doesn't he? And just whips it through. That was really good. And that's again Fassbender giving him something to do rather than just because in the last film and at the end towards this one, he just does that thing where he's in the air going like that.
Yeah.
And there's just metal swirling around. It's
Yeah.
like Oh, we've seen this like
He looked
millions
bored
of
at one
times.
point.
Yeah,
At the end, he was just sitting there like, oh, it's all this metal just going everywhere.
he wants to act, doesn't he? He wants to cry and
Yeah.
shout and.
Well, like,
you
how
know.
long was Magneto at the end just stood in that big metal
It's just
sphere?
a metal thing and his arms are up and there's just metal swirling around. It's like we've seen this in several X-Men films.
That's the type of thing, if that was set in the modern day, it would have just been like on his phone, just like passing the time. Because he had nothing, like, he would have been
With his
dead bored.
headphones in.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know it was a bit silly. Also, I think the Mystique thing was slightly overplayed. I know it's Jennifer Lawrence, and Jennifer Lawrence is massive at this point, but for me, it's a little overstated. I don't know how you feel about that, but it does feel like we've got Jennifer Lawrence in this X-Men franchise, right? Just give it all to her. She can be like brilliant, amazing, and do everything.
Well, I was actually worried about that because I knew they were trying to make a new face because Hugh Jackman's getting old.
Yeah,
And I didn't feel like she was too much the centre of it.
yeah.
I felt like they were definitely setting her up still for future films to carry on, but I was actually quite
Relieved
worried
that it wasn't.
I was worried initially going in. It's like, oh, they're just going to make her the Force. But
And
like,
the
she
first
wasn't.
scene when you see it coming through, you're like, oh, it's just all going to be about Jennifer Lawrence, isn't it?
It was good. Like, they brought a lot of the old characters back, but also they were introduced again
Yeah.
as younger characters, which I thought they all worked with really well.
Do you think there's some potential with, say, Storm, for example? Then she's into it now, and
Again, I
It
think
wouldn't
I don't
really
think
have
there's
much
potential like in
with
the original one. She was just Storm there.
yeah,
I mean, you sort of got
Yeah.
to see a bit of her backstory, like from the comics, how she starts in Africa, but it's just you don't get much.
I think
then-
it's really missed potential with Storm. I don't understand why she's so underplayed. I mean, you had a really good actress in the film. I don't know, you might disagree. But Halle Berry,
I like Halle Berry.
is capable actually, and was not given much to do in those films. And then this one, she's kind of sidelined again, where we're not really given much. I don't quite understand. But hey ho, Jennifer Lawrence gets it all as Mystique, who in the first X-Men films was just like nothing. Just whatever.
Let's talk about how amazing Apocalypse is, though. Like, we talked about the stupid bits that he does, but like I know it's a bit difficult, but like he's pretty menacing. He's pretty like
Oh, yeah.
he owns. I was
The
worried that
scenes is-
I was
yeah.
worried from the trailer that he was just gonna be. I wasn't gonna see past how ridiculous he looks, but like he's like he's pretty
The
incredible.
charisma, he's like, and the way he talks and sounds and
Yeah.
everything, I would probably follow him.
And you just couldn't.
I've probably got
So
go on.
you've got no
Simon-
powers.
Oh shit! Damn it!
I'm gonna amplify your powers.
Yeah.
What would he amplify?
Oh god, I don't know. Like maybe working in a call centre or something.
Yeah.
You work in a call centre
You
really
call
well.
3 people.
Customer
Call
service.
3 people at
Yes.
once.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I know what you mean. It was very kind of. You kind of looked past how ridiculous it looked pretty quickly. I thought.
I couldn't wait for him to meet Professor X. I was like,
Yeah.
like when it was just all building.
Yeah.
There was a really stupid bit that threw me off
Yeah.
when the end of the world is about to happen, and all these scientists are looking at watching Magneto destroy the core from within, and they've just got this one scientist who's like just calm as anything, like
Chilled.
yeah, well all the bronze and
Oh,
the iron from the inside of the world is about to blow the planet apart. And
Anyways.
everyone's like, oh, I guess this is the end of the world then.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, couldn't they have reshot that scene where everyone's a bit more panicked?
And there was that's what I mean. I thought that third of the film dropped a bit, and there was a bit where characters kept doing exposition, like the bit where Jane is on.
Did you laugh at one point?
Yeah. There's a bit where Jane is on the plane. She goes, and if we let him take over Xavier's mind, da 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 da, and it's like seems really like right. We're just going to let the audience know what the hell's going on. It did get a bit muddled for me at that point.
I looked past that.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it went off to a shaky start. Like,
Yeah.
not shaky, but like, you knew. For me, I knew the best bit was going to be when Apocalypse started getting his power, like started being more prominent, and like it was a bit slow lugging us through the first intro. All right, this is
Yeah.
what the characters are. This is where they are.
Yeah.
And then it really picked up for me.
It kind of
Yeah.
got going towards the end. So overall, I did think I was preparing
Hang on,
myself for
Wolverine.
disappointment. Oh yeah, Wolverine. So Hugh Jackman scene, did it work for you?
I thought it was I thought that was the best Wolverine action I've ever seen.
Did you think that?
Yeah. He was just pure rage.
There's one where he stabs a guy, and that was pretty thrilling. That was like viscerally, like yeah. But yeah, it kind of came and went, and I don't know.
He looked awesome as well. He looked like Wolverine. Like his hair was long. He had a bit of a beard,
Yeah.
and he was just, and he had the Weapon X stuff.
Yeah.
Like I remember reading that particular comic where he was dressed exactly, well, not exactly, like, but
I thought he was a bit. The only thing my argument would be with that is like I just thought the first shot of him was a bit cheesy. It's like the feed up and it pans back and he's doing that, and I thought, it's a bit cheesy.
well, I was worried because I knew he was in it because he got spoiled in that
I
trailer.
said it to you, didn't I?
But what I was happy with
Yeah.
was the fact that I heard that it got like crowbarred in.
Oh, did it? Right.
That's what I heard. Like I heard that they reshot it and he originally wasn't going to be in it.
Right.
But he was pretty pivotal to that point of the story to get them through it.
Yeah, it did make some. That's just reminded me what I thought at that time. I thought it was one of the disappointing parts of the last third is where that action all went, where Wolverine comes out. It's like a boring military bunker.
It's just 12 minutes. This one.
Yeah. Hello, if you're still watching, well done. So the after credits scene, we waited and waited and waited. Are you glad you waited?
I don't know. I don't really know what I saw.
We think it's something to do with Wolverine, don't we? But we're not sure.
Yeah, I don't really know what that was. But I mean, you can cut this bit out because this will just make me look like an idiot.
This is going in.
Just, I'll send you a voiceover once I've read up, and I'll be like, "Yeah, this sounds great. It's got that bit scene. You know what that means, don't you? You know what that means? We're getting Old Man Logan."
I turned to you for to have knowledge about what this thing meant on screen. I thought you would be like, yes, this is actually a backstory to Wolverine and blah blah blah.
It was better than the what post-credit scene was it?
Civil War. When they had 8 post-credits.
No, I think it was like one of the Spider-Man ones. It was the post-credit scene advertising Days of Future Past, and it was just a trailer. You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that. It was just a trailer.
It was a bit of from the trailer where Mystique's in Days of Future Past.
What's your favourite post? Post-credit.
I don't even know if I like them.
I thought the one in Iron Man 3 wasn't bad, where like it's Bruce Banner counselling Tony Stark a bit, but he's fallen asleep. That was silly, but he's alright. I'd be annoyed if I saw that in the cinema and waited.
My favourite post-credit scene was the one with Patrick Stewart and Wolverine. I think it was from the Wolverine film, the one in Japan.
Oh, yeah, so he stops him at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. So overall, X-Men Apocalypse, thumbs up, cracking entertainment, and long live the X-Men franchise.
Oh, right.
Need to do something different with Magneto though next time. Can't be having that flip coin.
Well, I don't know if...
No, I'm stopping it now. No, go on, what are you going to say?
Rah! No, I...
Click!
I don't think they need to do too much. It wasn't over the edge. It wasn't too much this time. I thought it was just enough, and I think next time they can't do it again.
But how can Magneto be forgiven? Like he's killed all them people again, and at the end he's like,
"Hey, you know what I'm like? I've got a good heart though."
I don't understand
How he's forgiven.
There we go. So X-Men, it's really good. And blah blah blah.